What up, what up, what up? Football fans all over the world. It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan, and I'm here with my guy, the super dope co-host, Adam Costas. You don't know what time it is. It's time for that real deal NFC East round up. Punch that intro. What up? What is going on? Good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome to another edition of the Real Deal NFC East Roundup. I am Mac the Giants fan here with my guy, Adam Costas, man, a super dope co-host. How you feeling today, Adam?
I am good, but I have a lot to get off the chest. It's been a stressful week at work. I'm here with you guys to kind of, talk something other than life. So thanks for tuning in. No Mets.
What is going on? What up? No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. What is up with you, man? How you doing today, bro? Thanks for stopping in as always. So what you got on your mind, Adam, man? Let them have it, man. What you got on your mind? Let's go. Let's get this party started.
Something really got me irritated. Something really is getting me irritated. And it's because of the New York Giant fan base. And I'll tell you why. It's because you guys talk yourselves out of a quarterback. If I have to hear that we're going to push the can down the road, or we're going to get this bridge quarterback, or this, that, and the other thing about not trying to get the guy you want in the draft, I'm going to blow a gasket. Well, I might blow a gasket right now because this doesn't make any sense to me. I sat there and I had an epiphany. I said, what is it about the quarterback that is that you're so scared of? Because we can have bust set receiver, bust set running back. We move on from those guys, no fucking problem. But when it comes to quarterback, it's, can't take that guy. Can't take him there. He might be a reach. But he can't do this. You know what I mean? I mean, just exactly. You do. It's like, hey, it's like at the club, the girls are shaking it for you. Boom, boom, boom. And you're like, nah. That one's got a big head. Nah, that one's not. Like, you want Miss White to walk through that door. Miss White's not always there for you, okay? You got to take who's in front of you. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. But damn it, people, grow a nutsack and stop being so, oh, my God, well, Shedeur Sanders, I don't know. I don't really want to do it. It could be a reach. And then I heard this. This is the argument that really lit a fire under my ass. Well, this is a weak argument saying that the guy could win you 2 Super Bowls and don't trade up and get assets. Yeah, it's not a weak argument. It's a weak argument because it's actually true and it happened for the Giants. Because in 2004, when we were drafting Eli Manning, everyone was crying about the damn first-round pick that we lost in 2005. Oh, my God, we lost 2005. Like, give me a damn break. You know what happened? The next year, we got Corey Webster. We ended up moving on, and we got our quarterback, and he won 2 Super Bowls. And guess what? Guess what people do? They're like, me and Mac, if he gets inducted this Sunday into the Hall of Fame, where are we going? We're going to Canton, Ohio. Okay? So we're going to Canton, Ohio to see our quarterback who led us to 2 Super Bowls. And don't worry, I won't forget to mention to tap on Eli Manning's shoulder. Oh, by the way, you cost us a first-round pick in 2005. Thanks, bro. Like, nobody gives a damn. Because you know why? You have 2 damn rings and 2 damn Lombardis in your trophy case. And they took a swing, and we don't want to take a swing. All I hear every week is, we got to push the can down the road. Half you people who say you want to push the can down the road don't even know the names of the quarterbacks coming out next year. So how the hell are you going to tell me that you want a quarterback next year when you don't even know who's coming out? Hell, they don't even know who's coming out. You see the pretty list, but let me break it down for you. Carson Beck was supposed to come out this year. What happened to him? He got injured. So now he's going back. How do we know that Nussmeier doesn't get injured or somebody else that we are falling in love with doesn't get injured and say, you know what? I'm going to take this NIL money.
Don't forget the almighty Archie Manning. Don't forget that guy. The almighty Archie Manning that
I'll
everybody
get to him in a
seems
minute.
to
Thanks
be
a lot,
in love
Arch
with.
Manning. You're part of this equation too. Okay, because that guy's not coming out for 2 years, and we want to sit on our freaking hands and be like, "Oh, we're going to get Arch Manning." Guess what, people? The Giants don't tank. The Giants don't tank. There is no tank in that word. You can't even tank if you want to for the Giants, and they don't do it right. Tennessee and Cleveland do, but we can't. You know why? Because we have too much pride to win meaningless games, so we can be the best record possible. Guess what? You know what we did last year? Instead of trading down, like I said, if you weren't going to take a quarterback, you took the luxury pick. How many wins did Malik Neighbors get us? What, 1? He had a great season. So did Brian Thomas. We could have got him later in the draft. We didn't. You know what we decided to do? Take the luxury pick because we wanted to go with Daniel Jones, who we cut halfway through the goddamn season. And now we're sitting here on the doorstep of possibly getting a quarterback, and people are like, well, I don't know if I like the prospects. 2026. Like, give me a break. Stop this nonsense. Well, I don't want to trade any assets. Well, guess what? All the bridge quarterbacks that you guys love so much, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, and all these other guys, guess what? You got to trade assets for them. And let me break this down to you. If you're bringing a guy like Jameis Winston, you're bringing a guy who's going to win some games for you. You might go from 4 wins to 6 wins, and now you're out of the quarterback market next year, and we'll be doing the same friggin' thing. Saying, well, we can't take quarterback 4 because, he's not as good as quarterback 3, 1, 2, and 3. Da, 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 da. This is what we do. This is what we do. And Arch, that's right, no Mets, Arch hasn't played a full season, and we're going gaga over that guy. The 2 games he played didn't even look that good, and then he was in the national championship and fumbled. But we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. In the playoffs when he fumbled that football in that quarterback sneak. Like, we're not going to talk about that. But here we are. We got Giants memeing, Peyton Manning's son at the Pro Bowl. You got this Manning over here. Like, get over it. I'm sick and tired of people on Twitter, Lance Zierlein, that idiot telling me, oh, well, the Raiders can take Shedeur Sanders, but the Giants can't. So the Giants are so highbrow, they can't take a quarterback, but the Raiders can. Are you kidding me? You know how illogical that makes? We have nobody in the damn room. We have a friggin' sub-sandwich guy who possibly could be the quarterback. He's not even going to make the team. He may not even make the team next year. Gabagool, that guy, okay? And everybody wants that guy to be a quarterback. We invest in something. I'm just sick and tired of it. We sit here every week and we talk about what do the Giants need? Well, we need a quarter. We need this. We need that. Of course we need all that stuff. But what do we not have? What do we not have? Somebody put up, I think it was Authentic. If you're listening to Authentic, credit to you. He put up a roster of the Giants. You know what it said under quarterback? N-A. Nothing available. N-A. We got nothing available. You people out there in Giant space want to kick the can down the road as if you know who's coming out next year. Well, we got Tennessee. Oh, Gus Meyer. Oh, we get Drew Aller next year. Like, give me a break. If the Giants bring in Jameis Winston and they go 6-11, and we're on the outside of the damn top 10, what are we going to do? We're going to do the same thing. Well, there's O-lineman in this draft that we need, and there's a tight end that we could use, and but the quarterback number 4 is not good enough for us. So I think we'll wait to 2027 where we can get first pick and Arch Manning. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. Just give me a break. I'm sorry I went on this long rant to start the show, but it's been getting on my nerves, and it boiled over today because I don't know if it was I was listening to a space or I heard somebody about the quarterbacks. I'll say this, my last point. Half you motherfuckers don't even know what projection this guy is going to go. You have no idea what Shedeur Sanders is going to be, so don't put that on him. Because guess what? Everyone's like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. What did Lamar Jackson do? Nobody took Lamar Jackson for 32 picks. If you were to redraft that draft now, him and Josh Allen had won 1 and 2 point blank period. Okay? That's what happened.
Easily.
They took a chance, and they got a guy. But no, we want to sit here and say, well, Shedeur Sanders not that guy. Cam Ward. Oh, man, let me take some guy in the 6th round. Oh, well, look at Tom Brady, Adam. Look at Tom Brady. Look at Russell Wilson. Let me break those down for you for a second. Okay? You got Tom Brady. He was drafted after Drew Bledsoe. He wasn't drafted as the main guy. He was there to be the backup. Drew Bledsoe, thank you, Mo Lewis, gets injured in the game, and in comes Tom Brady. Let's go to, Matt. Some people say Drew Brees. Drew Brees was kicked out of. They overdrafted Phillip Rivers over Drew Brees. So don't tell me about Drew Brees. He had to go to the Saints and earn his fucking stripes. He was a second-round pick. We can go over to Russell Wilson. Everybody loves talking about Russell Wilson. Woo! What did Russell Wilson do? Guess what? He was brought in after they signed Matt Flynn to a mega deal. So he was an afterthought. He was just picked to be a backup quarterback and develop. All of a sudden, the starter stinks, and this guy has a chance. Well, let's fast forward 3 years later to Dak Prescott. He was drafted because they thought Tony Romo was going to be a starter. Tony Romo's back. Wasn't working out. So guess what? Here you go, kid. We got you a running back that year, too. We'll just rely on him. Okay, and then we talk about like Nick Foles. Oh, you can get him. He was a third-round journeyman quarterback that ended up being a backup, winning a Super Bowl after the guy he was replaced had an MVP season, who was a first overall pick. Like, this is what I'm talking about. We sit here every day after 6 years, and we still want to kick the can down the road. Ran over.
Well, I couldn't agree more with you, Adam, man. Honestly, I couldn't agree more, man. It's just ridiculous, the fact that you sit there and people try to talk themselves out of this pick. Right now, the New York Giants have many, many, many problems. Get it, got it, understood. The New York Giants have no problem bigger than the quarterback position. They don't have a quarterback. They ain't had a quarterback since Eli Manning retired. That's the last time the New York Giants had a quarterback. Eli Manning may be getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. Maybe getting announced, going into the Hall of Fame this weekend on Saturday night. We'll know for sure on Saturday night. So that's how long it's been since the New York Giants have had a quarterback of any substance. This is ridiculous. As a fan, it's irresponsible for this team to look past that position once again. You had an amazing draft class a season ago, and you didn't pick any of those fuckers. So now you put yourself in a position where, yeah, you're going to have to reach possibly. Maybe it is a reach, but this is where we are. You have to address the position. It must be addressed. There's no excuse. People talking about, oh no, Jackson Dart didn't look good at the Senior Bowl, and he didn't look good, didn't this, that, and the other. Guess what? Okay, we saw what he can do during the season in game action. We saw what he can do. He's a worthy prospect, and if you love that guy, then pull the trigger. Shador, Cam Ward, you got to make it happen. You can't just keep ignoring the quarterback position, just like Adam eloquently said. You just can't just keep glossing over it. It's a problem, and it needs to be addressed. You're in a prime position to get one of the best quarterbacks in this draft. How can you ignore it? And I'm not going to go all wild and go in depth. Adam did that already. But the point is, the quarterback position needs to be addressed. I think I was listening to you guys on the stream the other night when you were on there with G Nation and all those other guys, man. I think it was the guy from Two Giant Goofballs, man. He said it best, man. It's like pretty much the biggest position people reach for in the draft. It's the quarterback position. You kind of tend to reach, because if you're in need, you got to go after it. You got to get a guy. Right now, like Adam just said, Giants have no guys. They have an empty quarterback room right now. Got to put some bodies in there. Got to start to build this thing.
There's a reason why people give up the farm to go get one. There's a reason why they do that. It's not because they want, a nice shiny toy. No, it's because that's the face of a franchise. Guys move around. People want the Raiders. Everybody loves talking about backup quarterback. Guess what? Gardner Minshew went there, and they were in and out of the lineup with him and Aiden O'Connell. Those guys, you don't think they want Shedeur Sanders? You don't think they would want a quarterback? Heck, a quarterback is part ownership of that team. Okay? The reason I'm so angry and adamant about it has less than to do with with the actual thing. It's the ignorance of our fan base to sit here and say that we need to build a perfect team for that. You can do that and get a quarterback. It's one position we're talking about. We're not talking about, hey, but you need to get 3 receivers and all this. We're asking for one guy in here that's worth a damn. And everyone wants to put into the next quarterback class, again, with the uncertainty of what goes on now in college sports. Do we realize that college sports is now a semi-pro league with the money that they're getting paid? And some of these guys can make more. Quint Ewers, he decided to come out. He had $8 million on the table, and he could have played one more season. Some guys may not want to come to the NFL and be a third-round pick. They may say, hey, I'll take the $8 million and see if I can improve my draft stock. It's going to change the momentum. So you saying kicking the can down the road might be kicking the can down the road forever because the Giants need to get somebody. And then all you Arch Manning fans, well, guess what? The Giants don't tank. So unless you're going to be the number 1 overall pick to have the pick of the litter, you may not get Arch Manning. And at that point, you're going to be like, whoa, I don't know what to do. We didn't get our guy because we're going to wait another 10 years. Listen, I'm starved for wins just like everybody else. I'm starved for this franchise like everybody else. I want to see Malik Neighbors do well. Heck, you get a quarterback, my mindset changes. I can actually enjoy watching the game again. But right now I have a mission. You know how people protest and they want movements to happen? I'm leading a quarterback movement right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to stop until we get one in the building. Okay, I'm not going to enjoy the game until we get one. And I'm telling you now, if they don't have one in 2025, I'm walking away to another team for at least a year that has a quarterback that I can watch. I'm like, ooh, look at Joe Burrow. Ooh, look at Justin Herbert. Ooh, 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 ooh. Meanwhile, I got to look at trash bags at the Giants Stadium. Both New York teams are trash bags. But we want to sit here. Well, the team, yeah, I understand Absolutely. The O-line things. Did we not invest mad money in the O-line? How much money we put Illuminor? We had Andrew Thomas. We had John Runyon. How much money we put in the quarterback? We paid one guy who was a bum, and that was a dumbass move to do. And now we're reaping it because we didn't put anything in the pipeline. We have nothing. Just like we got mad about Joe Shea not taking a quarterback last year, we were mad as well for him not taking an O-lineman last year in a deep O-line class draft. So in 2 of the deepest classes that we ever seen, he botched on both. And now we're going to have reaches across the board. But that's the bed they made, and that's what they're going to have to do. I don't want to hear about next year, 2026, because we're in this year. I don't care what happens in 2026. These guys are here. Do your fucking job and get us a quarterback, period.
Give me a guy I can feel excited about, even if he ends up sucking. Give me something to feel excited about going into the season. You don't know. You don't know until you see a guy out there on the field. You just don't know what you're going to get. You have no idea. But right now, you need to get somebody. And you're sitting in a prime position to do so. Don't fuck it up. You've done enough of that. It's time to correct the mistake. Like I said, build on, even though you didn't take the quarterback last year, you didn't take an O-lineman last year, you still took you did draft a pretty nice draft class. Build on that. And it starts with getting a quarterback in here. Quarterback or 2. Like I said, don't feel the need to stop at just one. You know what I mean? Don't feel the need to just stop at just one. I told you, I've been beating the table. Grab a couple of these guys. Bring some young guys in here and start mixing it up. And you had to have realistic expectations as well. You can't expect C.J. Stroud and Jaden Daniels production right away. That's not necessarily the norm. That ain't the norm. Those two guys came in and were special talents and had special seasons as rookies. You can't expect that either. But bring a guy in here that this fan base can rally around and actually at least have some form of excitement going into a season. When is the last time you've really, really, truly been excited going into the season for a New York Giants season? I mean, when? Give me a reason. After 6 years of Daniel Jones, give us a reason. Give us something. That's all I got for the Giants, man.
And
That's
the
really
one
all I
thing,
got.
the one last thing I will say, because everybody thinks that this is just a simple problem, as like we don't know what we're talking about. We understand the gratifications and the ramifications of what happens. We get it. You draft a quarterback, he fails it, you're bad. But the problem wasn't drafting of Daniel Jones. The problem was keeping Daniel Jones and not putting anybody in the pipeline. And that's the problem that we have right now. We have to replenish it. You can't bring in these guys and then say, yeah, we're going to roll it out with Drew Lock and a sixth round pick. Like, no, you want to say, give me some validity. Put something in the pipeline for the future. Even if the guy stinks, guess what? If in 2026 you didn't give up your first round pick to move to get one, let's say Shedeur or Cam falls to Giants at 3 and he fails, and the new regime comes in and says, I don't like either of these guys. Guess what? Draft another one. And then you have Shedeur Sanders as a bargaining chip to trade as an asset or keep as a backup. How many times have quarterbacks gone down and they have a shitty backup and they can't do nothing? Well, now let's say you have, a Shedeur Sanders or somebody else. I mean, the Commanders have done it twice. They drafted Robert Griffin III and Kirk Cousins. Last year, they drafted Jaden Daniels, and then they signed Sam Hartman. Okay? The Patriots did it. They drafted Drake May and then took Joe Milton. Like, don't be afraid to do it. It's a position on the field that we always overlook because we are Giant fans, and I don't know what they put in the elixir in New Jersey, but it's like, nah, we don't want good things. We don't want to win anymore. We want to be mediocre. We can move on.
What is going on, Alex? Thanks for stopping in, bro.
Alex, you just missed a rant.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, just don't screw it up, man. You got look, it's a no-brainer. You know what you need to do. You know what the mission is. Just don't screw it up. Like I said, even if it doesn't work out, it happens. But you took a swing at least. You got to take the damn swing. You have to. Sometimes they end up being misses. But you never know, man. You might just hit on it, bro. And you gotta try. At this point, like it's a clear cut what you need to do. Like I said, it's a lot of other holes in this team, a lot of things that need to be done. But nothing is more important than putting some bodies in that quarterback room. Nothing's more important than that. That's what needs to be done. So we'll see. We will see about it, man. I don't know, man. I haven't heard much news coming out of Dallas and Washington, man. Just not really a lot
because the
going
season's
on
over for those guys. And they don't have the problems that we have news every day because we're a shitty run franchise. Those franchises are just taking their off-season lumps and organizing their plan, whether we agree with the Dallas Cowboys plan or not. They're going to re-energize, regroup, and find a way. And the Commanders, who have $100 million, are sitting back and relaxing to see what is in store for them. Okay? Because they have a team who, by the way, wasn't a quarterback away, right? Nor were the Texans. They took the swing, and look what happened to the Commanders. I'm not saying that's going to happen with the Giants, but they took the swing anyways. And we on this show didn't expect that to happen with the Commanders. We expected them to have a quarterback and do something what like Caleb Williams did, where he kind of just is there. But they took the swing. And if there's any lesson from the NFC East, it's take a damn swing. The other 3 teams ahead of you are leaps and bounds better than us. Leaps and bounds better than us. And we want to sit here and, look at look at the team that's in the Super Bowl that we're about to talk about. Okay? Look at the team that's in the Super Bowl that we're about to talk about. Okay? This team drafted a quarterback in the second round when they had Carson Wentz still on the roster. And the guy has won ever since being inserted into the starting lineup since 2021. The guy has won. He's been to the Super Bowl, the playoffs. He's been the starter since 2021. And they've been to the playoffs. They went to the Super Bowl. They went back to the playoffs. And guess what? They're back in the Super Bowl again.
Yep. back again. And that is a great segue into Super Bowl 59. The new the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, a rematch of Super Bowl 57, in which we know the Kansas City Chiefs took care of business, which I'm very much hoping they do again on Sunday, because I cannot take the Eagle fans if they win another Super Bowl. What's going on, Daniel Barry? Thanks for popping in, man. But yeah, so Super Bowl 59 Sunday, man. Should be a great matchup too. I think honestly this year the Super Bowl came down to the two best teams in the NFL. I think the Eagles were the best team in the NFC, even though the Lions had that number one seed. The Lions definitely were tapering off late in the season, while the Eagles were absolutely hitting that groove. And I think that the Eagles were the best team in the NFC going into the postseason, and I think that between the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs, we are looking at the two best teams in the NFL matching up for Super Bowl 59, man. It should be an absolute great matchup, Adam. What you got? What you got for this game Sunday night, man?
I picked the Eagles as the best team. I think I even said it on this show. The Eagles are the best team in the NFC. I said, don't worry about the record. That won't be what you need to know. And guess what? They are the best team in the NFC. We may not like it, but it is true. I have no idea about this game because Nick Sirianni, and let's get to him for a minute. I was on the phone with a friend of mine, and we were talking about Nick Sirianni, and I think it might have been Zion. And he goes, why do people hate on Nick Sirianni? All that guy does is push the right buttons and they win. And it's true. He has the highest winning percentage of a coach starting a season in his first 5 years. And let's look at where he landed. The playoffs, the Super Bowl, the playoffs, back to the Super Bowl. And he has a chance to win it. And this is the best team that he's brought to the Super Bowl. I think their defense is better than the one that played against Patrick Mahomes last time. Now, I can't bet against Kansas City, but it's going to be tough for the Eagles to do it. And they have a guy in the backfield that could change the game in Saquon Barkley. He is literally a game changer, a game wrecker. That's what he did in the playoffs. When they needed a big play, they looked at 26, and he delivered 2,000 yards, and he delivered in the playoffs. Okay? And their offensive line isn't going anywhere. I know they're banged up, but Jeff Stoutland, who, by the way, gave credit to Nick Sirianni for moving Mekhi Becton to guard, that guy gets those players ready. So whoever is playing for those guys, they will be there. Now, I do like what Kansas City brings. And here's another guy on the Kansas City Chiefs that we don't talk about, George Karlaftis. Okay? We had a chance to get him. How is he doing over our guy, Kayvon Thibodeau? You know what I mean? I know that we hate the Eagles. I know we do. And Mac, I know it pains him to say the Eagles are the best team. I know it. I'm shocked those words even came out of his mouth, but it's the truth. And the reason why is because what No Met said, they're well managed. They understand the cap. They don't worry about depth. They drafted two players at the same position last year who are the highest graded quarterbacks on the team in the draft. And Kenyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Oh, by the way, they already spent money on Eli Ricks and the Rodgers kids they got. So they don't worry about that. They have Sidney Brown they drafted as well. They have different safeties. Oh, by the way, they paid Darius Slay, who also is a veteran presence out there. Then they get a linebacker in Nakobe Dean, who's having a great season, gets injured, and the guy that comes in behind him is also having a phenomenal year. Not to mention they signed Zach Bond and put him in a different position, and he's having an MVP-like season on defense. But this is why winning organizations do what they do. This is why the Eagles in the last 5 years are probably the best franchise in football. If they had won that Super Bowl, we'd be talking about them similar to Kansas City. But they understand the pulse of the team. I wouldn't be surprised this offseason if they trade A.J. Brown because they don't want to lose the chemistry of what's going on. Saquon Barkley has saved this franchise. Saved it. And now look where they are. They have a defense that's relentless. Okay, they have an up-and-coming defender in Jalen Carter, who's growing into one of the best D tackles in the game. They have depth across the board. They've got guys who are injured and have guys behind them have stepped up, and Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith. Okay, they signed Bryce Huff to a $50 million deal. And he's done nothing. He's on their bench, and he comes in and mop-up duty because the other guys they put out there do well. They have Milton Williams, who's playing out of his mind. Josh Sweat, who was a backup, is now regulated to starter, and he's phenomenal right now. Their cornerbacks are playing in unison. You had Keaton Mitchell have his first interception last week. They're only getting better. And they could on offense, how do you stop them? They have a tight end that can catch. They have two dynamic receivers, and their running back is one of the best. When I told you this team was the greatest show on turf comparison, I got laughed out the building. Well, guess what? Who's standing right now? I'm the one laughing because they are like the greatest show on turf. Okay? They can do it from passing. They can do it from running. They can do any damn thing because that offense is that good. And sure, maybe Dallas Goedert is not Azeez Hakeem, the third receiver with the Rams, but he does the job. He gets the yardage that's needed. This team works in 5-yard increments. They get 5 yards, guess what? Just throw your defense out. You need to stop them on the first down and get them negative plays. Because if they get in 3rd and 6, 3rd and manageable, and oh, by the way, 4th and 1, they're going for it. Okay? That's what they do. This team has an identity. They follow their coach, who is a winner. They are gritty. They're not worried about anything. They made the right adjustments. They have 2 weeks, and they also know this personnel. So don't think that the Eagle team is going to come in and lie down on Sunday afternoon.
That is something they definitely will not be doing Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, whatever. This Philadelphia Eagle team, man, like I said, it's a loaded roster, man. But this Kansas City team, there's something special about this team. There's something very, very special about the man that plays quarterback for this football team. We all know Patrick Mahomes right now.
I don't know that guy.
He's the best in the business, obviously.
Oh, what position does he play?
And you know, like they say. Like they say in roulette, man. You know, they say in roulette, always bet on black. Well, in the playoffs, Super Bowl, man, always bet on black. You know, it just seems like a formula for success, man. This Kansas City Chiefs team, they just know what it takes to get the job done. They had what a lot of people would call a lackluster season, you know, coming up this year. I mean, throughout the season, and people were trying to.
They're 15-1.
This team they're not that good. They're not really that great, but yet here we are once again getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday, and we're getting ready to watch the Kansas City Chiefs. What is going on? Where you hiding? What is up with y'all, man? What's going on? You got 4 more days to watch. To wait for the Eagles to get up in that Super Bowl once again, man. But this the thing about this matchup that I'm loving in comparison to 2 years ago is these two teams. You're talking about two teams where something's got to give here, because both these teams play really good defense, and both of these teams can absolutely get it done offensively. So something's got to give, and I'm not sure, man, what it is, but this Eagle team is smart. They're going to definitely do their best to keep Patrick Mahomes off that field. And the best way to do that is by turning around and putting that ball in the belly of number 26, man. Ride the horse that got you here. And all the other great talent on that football team the Eagles have, there's just something extra special about Saquon Barkley, man. And we watched it happen this year, and you watched what he did with the 2,000 yards and just throughout the playoffs, just big play after big play after big play, just ripping off 60-yard touchdown runs like they're nothing. Like they're nothing. Behind that offensive line, you open up holes like that for a running back as dynamic as Barkley, great things are going to happen more often than not. So the key for the victory for the Eagles in this one will be just don't try to get too cute out there on the field. Don't try to get too cute. Let Saquon Barkley do what he does, and it opens up everything else. It makes everything else wide open. So, I mean, I'm not saying I want the Eagles to win this football game because I definitely do not. But if they go out there, I think their best chance at winning this game is to definitely feed Saquon Barkley early, feed Saquon Barkley often. He ain't got nothing else to do until July or whatever training camp begin. As far as for real, I mean, so he's got plenty of time to rest up, heal up, and whatever. You ride the horse that got you here, man. Saquon Barkley is the reason the Eagles are in this position right now. You watched what he did throughout the playoffs, from wild card round up to championship week. This doesn't have to be any different on Sunday. I mean, other than the fact that you're playing against the almighty Kansas City Chiefs, coached by a coach that is destined for the Hall of Fame as soon as he retires, led by a quarterback also destined for the Hall of Fame 5 years after he decides to hang it up. But with all of that being said, this Philadelphia Eagle team is built and it's constructed to defeat this Kansas City Chiefs team. And it's going to come down to the X's and the O's, like I said. And you can't be cute about it. Do what got you here. You rely on that running game. You rely on them big ugly up front to just keep moving people out the way. You just do what you do. Don't let Jalen Hurts don't go out trying to play hero ball, trying to go tick for tat with Patrick Mahomes. Because guess what, young man? As good as you are, you're not Patrick Mahomes good. So don't go out there trying to get into that kind of a battle. Just you go out there, you let Saquon Barkley, you just let him grind it out on this Kansas City defense because he's going to have to earn it against the defense. It's not going to be as easy to just run the ball on this defense as it was throughout some of the other, the teams he played through the course of the postseason. And so forth throughout the season. This is a tough defense going to be going up against. We know what Spagnuolo can do as a defensive coordinator for Kansas City Chiefs. We know as Giant fans firsthand the kind of scheme Spagnuolo can dial up. He can make it interesting. He can make it tricky, and he can confuse. He can confuse you. But I think in this Eagle team, they just rely on what works, what they know works, what's been a proven success. I think they can't go wrong here. But with that being said, I there's no way I'm fixing my mouth to think the bet against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it here. I'm not going to do it anywhere until prove me wrong. Until somebody else proves me wrong, I just can't do it. I mean, this is going to be a great game, though. I think this will be maybe one of the better Super Bowl matchups we've seen in some years. This will be a great, great game. Adam,
I think you're right. Else. I don't think, the Eagles. I think the Eagles are in a interesting position because Kansas City had to work to get to this playoffs. And I do think that this team's matchup is not as good as the previous one. I do think advantage Philadelphia. However, the Kansas City Chiefs seem to find a way to get in your head. That's how they beat you. They don't always beat you physically, but they'll get in your head. Like, oh, man, they fumbled. Oh, man, the play calling. Oh, man, the refs that we have to deal with, right? People are already going into a game worrying about the refs. That means they're in your head. If you go in and play your game flawlessly, you don't have to worry about the refs. But if you're thinking about the refs going in to play this game and worrying about a little hit that you don't want to make, listen, use the Super Bowl. If I'm Vic Fangio and I see Patrick Mahomes doing the little thing, I tell my guys, light him up. You got nothing to lose. Light him up. If he decides to keep trying that little thing, light him up, and I'll pay your fine later. But we're not gonna let those ticky-tack things dictate what we're coming to do. And they got to come and do it. And like you said, turn around and give it to 26. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see a big game from Smith and Brown because I do believe Kansas City is going to try to blitz and get that run game to be stifled. right, and say, let Jalen Hurts beat us. We will not lose to 26. I could see that being the game plan. And that's where you're going to have to find out if Jalen. I know that Max said don't go tit for tat. Well, you might have to just because of the game plan to which Kansas City might be employing. And you may have to be like, you know what, Jalen, I need you to make throws in these big moments. I need you to make a throw to A.J. Brown down the seam. And then he's – let's put for nothing, Jalen Hurts does make those plays. I saw a play against – I think it was the Giants. They were like 4th and 5, 4th and 6 at like the 40-yard line. Hike down the field right to A.J. Brown in the bucket for a touchdown. Like he does have those. And if he plays well, they'll have a great chance to beat this team. If he's struggling and Kansas City, is stopping the run game and he can't get into rhythm, it'll be a long afternoon. But I want to – my onus this game is on the Eagle defense. If you play your game, you'll be walking out with the Lombardi Trophy. I guarantee it. I can put money on it. Kansas City doesn't have the horses to stop everything that you do offensively. They just don't in the back end. I'm not saying they can't employ certain things and they won't make adjustments as they go, but they don't have the same personnel. They're going to find a way to scheme and not burn you. But if that defense plays well and gets the ball back, which the Eagles are known to do, they're one of the highest turnover defenses in the league, they're going to win the football game. And I hope, if I'm an Eagle fan, that we didn't blow our wad early against the NFC Championship game, scoring 55 points, and we come out and score nothing. I don't think that will happen, but, we'll see. You beat Kansas City by turning the ball over. And Patrick Mahomes has turned the ball over a couple times in the playoff games that he's played. He had a fumble, and I think he had an interception in one of those games. Turn him over, you'll win the football game. Play sound football, sound defense. Make sure you're on your P's and Q's. Think about every little scenario that's going to go down. Kansas City, I think they had a punter that passed on them, that they threw a pass with their kicker and stuff. They do things like that. Andy Reid's going to pull out all the stops. Jim Nagy, be ready. And that's all I got to say about this game.
I mean, absolutely, man. Where you hiding, man? We were talking about this a couple weeks ago, I think. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it would be as cool as this would all be. You know what I mean? And the fact that the NFC East is the only division where all 4 teams have won a Super Bowl, and if the Eagles win this one, will be the only division where all 4 teams will have had multiple Super Bowls. As cool as all that would be, you know what I mean? I'm not rooting for it because I'm still no way do I want to see the Philadelphia Eagles win this football game on Sunday. Look, Saquon Barkley, I said it, he's my guy. I hope he has a great game, go out there and do his thing, man. And I'm always rooting for Saquon, but can't get down with the uniform he's wearing, can't get down with that team. Don't want to see them win a Super Bowl. Don't want to see people marching to this parade on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever the hell the parade's going to be in Philly. I don't want to see any of that. I don't want to be any. I don't want to be anywhere near that. I don't want to be anywhere around that. I mean, look, it's just not something I can get jiggy with. But with that being said, the Eagles do have an absolute chance here because they're like you said, a great football team, fundamentally sound football team, offensively great, defensively great. They play good on special teams. I mean, there's not really much this team doesn't do well. And this Kansas City is going to be in for a dogfight. But Kansas City knows how to get it done. They know how to win championships. They know how. I mean, this is something they've grown accustomed to. This is just another day at the office for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's only like about a point, a 1.5 or something like that. Really? It's not a big spread at all. Yeah,
I thought it would be. I thought there would be a lot less people rooting for the Eagles, and it's almost like the Eagles versus the world because everyone wants to see a three-peat, right? So I thought that would be a little bit bigger, but to have be 1 point really shows you how evenly matched they are, these teams. So,
I mean, I could double check that real quick, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be more than like 3 points. I'd be shocked if it was anything bigger than 3 points.
No, I'm pretty sure it was only like 1 point.
But if you don't have any more to say, I think we should get into our trivia.
Yeah, 1.5. 1.5 points for the Kansas City Chiefs in favor of the Chiefs. Wow. Yeah, let's do a little bit of trivia. Why not? A little bit of NFC East Super Bowl trivia. Little something. I mean, these are kind of layups. I think you guys. I think I took it easy on you guys. I didn't want to get too technical. These
Easy.
questions. I
Our
got
fan
some.
base can handle it.
I got something. I got some stuff that I think you guys gonna be able to answer here. But go ahead in the chat. Feel free, throw your answers up in the chat. Let's see who gets it first. We ain't got no prizes for y'all, but this is just personal pride. You know what I mean? First question. It's a two-parter. Which NFC East team was the first to compete in a Super Bowl, and which one was the first to win a Super Bowl? Two-parter.
I would say.
Do 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 do.
Oh, I know the first one.
Do 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 do. You know the first one. You know the first part of the question. Answer the first part.
The second part, I'm still
All
working
right,
on.
let's hear it.
I'm going to say the Dallas Cowboys were the first team to compete in the Super Bowl because they competed with the Steelers early on.
The Dallas Cowboys were the first to compete in the Super Bowl. And which one was the first to win a Super Bowl?
I think it was. I mean, he says the Giants. I'm not quite sure. That probably is right, being the 86. And
You're half right and half wrong. No Mets, half right and half wrong.
Okay, so then the team that. Well, wouldn't it be the Cowboys as well? Because they won with Roger Staubach.
I was devious with that one. The Cowboys is the answer to both parts of the questions. The Cowboys competed in Super Bowl V, losing to the Baltimore Colts. And then in the following year in Super Bowl VI, the Cowboys will go on to defeat the Miami Dolphins, being the first NFC East team to compete in the Super Bowl, and then they were the first NFC East team to also win a Super Bowl.
Wow. Yes. And the Giants have been around for.
That's how Mac the Giants fan got down with y'all.
Well, that was a good one. I liked it. I'm not following you, no Mets. You lead me down the wrong division.
All right, here's a layup. Here's a layup for you guys. I got a
you said the
layup
last
here.
one was a layup.
This is a layup.
Oh, I know this.
What phrase did Phil Simms coin after being named Super Bowl 21 MVP?
If you don't get this, get out of here. Yeah, you were half right. Well, I'm half black. Doesn't mean a damn thing. They don't give you half points in Vegas. Well, you know what? You won half the money. Well, actually, he said the phrase twice.
So, yeah.
He did say the phrase twice.
He did indeed. Still said to this day. But Phil Simms was the original.
Shall I answer it?
I guess nobody seems to want to answer it in the chat. So
fine. No, Mets. Way to go. I'll answer it for you, slowpoke. It's I'm going to Disney World or I'm going to Disneyland, depending on which one they decided to do. He had to do 2 takes, as a matter of fact, because you had to say Disney World and you had to say Disneyland.
Ding, 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 ding. That would be correct.
I'm 2 for 2. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, all right, all right.
Shit, you knew it, but you didn't say it.
Yeah, he got in a little late there. He got in a little late.
You were that guy trying to press the buzzer after Alex Trebek already picked somebody.
All right, another layup here. Times have the Washington Commanders / Redskins played in the Super Bowl, and how many did they win?
Well, I know how many they won. I'm going to go, my guess is this. They played in 4, they've won 3.
Final answer?
That's my final answer.
You are correct, sir.
That's right, no Mets.
Played in 4.
Maybe you should sit down. What do you mean the Commanders never played in 4? Technicality. Get out of here.
They played.
He's a
They
commander
they
slash
lost their first
Redskins.
Super Bowl appearance. They lost their first Super Bowl appearance in 1973 or something like that.
I am
Yeah,
good.
19 to the Miami Dolphins, and then they went on to win their next three appearances, the beating the
Oh,
Oakland Raiders, beating the Denver Broncos, and then beating the living hell out of the Buffalo Bills. So
I mean, technically, if you want to get technical,
let's
yes.
go. Let's
Commanders
go.
with 0. Fine. We can do that. They're the same damn lineage. Although some people would argue that the Cleveland
It's
Browns
the same
technically
franchise.
the Cleveland Browns in '95 were the same franchise as Baltimore Ravens, but there are technicalities. I get it. I understand. Tennessee and Houston Oilers, same
Yeah,
shit.
but they didn't move. They just changed. They just changed the name of the team. They're still the
Right,
exact same team. Still the
right.
same franchise.
Same
Everything.
colors, same everything. Except same shitty ownership. They're not owned by shitbags anymore. This
Not
is
at
fun.
all. All right, let's
Let's keep it
go.
rolling.
Let's get one. Let's get another easy one here. Another easy one. Who
Easy.
was the opponent of the Philadelphia Eagles the first time they played in the Super Bowl?
I
Who
know.
was the opponent of the Philadelphia Eagles the first time they played in the Super Bowl?
I know this answer. Easy peasy. 1980.
Yes, sir.
Dick Ramil was their head coach.
He sure was.
Why do I know so much damn Eagle trivia? I know the answer. I'll wait to see if anybody else gets it, but I know what it is. Oh, good job, no Mets. It is the
Answer is
Raiders.
in the chat. The Oakland Raiders.
Were
Oakland
they from
slash
LA?
Las Vegas. Nah, the
Were
Oakland
they LA?
Raiders. It was the
They weren't LA back then, or they were
is who it
Oakland?
was. Nah, they were Oakland back then. They were the Oakland Raiders in 1980.
Oakland Raiders. Used to be a good franchise.
All right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good job. No mess, no nets, no jets. I wish I had something for you, but I don't.
I'll give you a thumbs up.
Maybe next time.
I wouldn't
All
count on
right.
it.
Got another layup for you guys. Another layup. Another easy one, man. Who was the MVP of Super Bowl 22? Washington versus Denver.
This I don't know.
Who
But
was the MVP
I'll take
of
a
Super
stab.
Bowl 22? Washington versus
I want to say
Denver.
Lenny Zonka. I think. Isn't that the running back? I think that's the running back. I'm going to say that's my guess. Oh, no, wait. It could be Doug Williams, too. I know that. I don't know which one they played first. I don't know Doug Williams. That's where. I'm not going to look it up either. That's cheating.
Super Bowl 22. Washington versus Denver. Ah, no Mets, no Nets, no Jets, and I ain't too proud to go. Coming in with the correct answer. And that will be Doug Williams coming out having a fantastic day. Doug Williams lighting the Denver Bronco defense up for, I believe, 5 touchdown passes, and they might have all been in the first half of that football game. Doug
Dang, I
Williams
wasn't.
came out on
When was
fire
that? When was that?
in that game.
What year?
That was 1987. That was the year right after the Giants beat the Denver Broncos
I was 3 years
for
old,
their first Super Bowl.
so I wouldn't have
Oh, I'm
recognized it.
sorry. I was I remember watching the game. But yep. Another fun fact about Doug Williams, he was the first African American quarterback to start a Super Bowl. He was also a backup quarterback. Doug Williams was not the regular starting quarterback for the Washington Redskins that season. He came on late when Jay Schrader, I believe, went down and took him all the way to the promised land and had one of the biggest days in Super Bowl history. Happy
And
Black
really,
History Month. Right on
yeah,
with that one.
and kind of pioneered
Didn't even do
the
that on purpose.
the black quarterback into it. And I don't want to hear about it anymore because there's going to be a black quarterback hosting a Lombardi this weekend. So we've come a long way, people. We've come a long way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, here we go. I got another easy one. Another little simple one here. What city did the Philadelphia Eagles win their first Super Bowl in? Which city
Wasn't it
did the
Indianapolis?
Philadelphia Eagles win their first Super Bowl in?
I think it was
It
Indianapolis.
was not Indianapolis.
It was not.
It was not Indianapolis. It was not.
Then New Orleans? No.
My boy Philly B coming in with the right answer. What up, Philly B? Minneapolis, Minnesota is where the Eagles won Super Bowl 52, defeating Tom Brady and the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota. Justin Timberlake did the halftime show tribute to Prince. That was the year Prince passed away, guys. And Prince, obviously, a proud Minnesota resident. And Philly B coming in there with the right answer. That's my boy. Snuck that one in there. All right, I got a couple more. Only got two more. I just did 2 questions apiece for every team. All right. Here go another pretty simple one. Another pretty simple one. Who sang the national anthem at Super Bowl 25? The New York Giants versus the Buffalo Bills.
Whitney Houston.
Who sang that national anthem?
Google that. No, that's no
sang
Jets.
that motherfucker.
Whitney Houston. Yeah. Google that shit. I think Michael Jackson was the halftime.
What's that right answer? Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston delivered probably, in my humblest of opinions, the best goddamn national version of the national anthem I ever heard in my life. She sang that shit. She sang that thing right in the middle of the Gulf War. You know, it was a lot going on, so she really sang the hell out of that national anthem. It was a lot at stake for the whole entire country. Super Bowl got pushed up an extra week that season. They didn't even want to have the extra to get. They didn't want to have the bye week in between the championship game and the Super Bowl that year, for obvious reasons, security reasons. They wanted to get the Super Bowl taken care of out down in Tampa. Man, Whitney Houston came out there and just really sang the hell out that national anthem. It was a great performance, and it's iconic. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend you Google it, look it up. It was definitely dope, man. She sang the hell out the national anthem, man. She really did a damn thing. But let's see. I got one more left, and this, I don't know. Pretty simple to me, I guess. Everything's simple to me. I know all the answers. How many times have the Dallas Cowboys played in the Super Bowl?
8.
How many times have the Dallas Cowboys played in the Super Bowl? 8 is not correct. 8 is not correct.
Didn't they? I know they won 5.
That's correct.
And I think they went 3. Didn't they go 3 times with Staubach and win 1?
Oh, you know what? Hold on, you might be right. 8 might be right. I'm sorry. I got to fact check that one. You're right. I think 8 might be right. I'm sorry. I think you're right. 8 is right. They lost 3 and they won 5. You're right. I'm sorry, Adam. I apologize.
Dare you.
That was my bad.
You're like, no.
There you go. They lost 3 in the 70s.
Well, thank you, Google.
And they won.
Yeah, listen, man, you got to watch the NFL films. They love Roger Staubach on the NFL films. So, you know, they're America's team coming together, all that shit. So, funny how they change ownership. They haven't been to the Super Bowl in, since 1995, 30 years. That's a question. Who has the longest drought in the Super Bowl era? That would be the Cowboys. Cowboys have not been to a Super Bowl in 30 years. Let that sink in, folks. 30 years. yet they win 12 games or more every year. We, Giant fans, yeah, we have 4 rings. Woo, we're great, man. I hear people still talking shit right now. They're like, yeah, man, we got those 4 trophies. Fuck me. I'm like, dudes, nobody cares about your museum of trophies that collects dust. We want to know what you're doing for me now. You know how many people have come and gone since then? I mean, my God, we're almost 14 years removed from 2011, and we are almost 20 years out from 2007. Like, that is a long time, people. That is a long, long time, and we haven't been relevant at all. So I know people like to talk crap about and give crap to the other teams in the NFC. I'm staying in my lane because I know that we're not even the best team in the division right now. We're not even the worst. We're not even the worst team in our division. Okay, there are 3 teams right now that arguably are going to finish ahead of us next year, and who knows? They may all 3 be in the playoffs when it's all said and done. Right? And we're going to be sitting here fiddle-faddling around having trivia questions. When was the last time the Giants won a meaningful playoff game? When was the last time they had a Super Bowl game? That's what we're going to be doing here because we're the New York Giants. We love to live on nostalgia, but we never want to look forward. Right? Oh, yeah, man, look at those 4 Super Bowls. Yeah, screw you, Eagles. Meanwhile, the Eagles I've been to the playoffs 5 years in a row.
Yeah, so I do appreciate you, Phil, with the plug. Philly B with the plug, but
who is
that's right. If y'all want to,
Pittsburgh Steelers.
So for a little shameless plug, once again, if y'all want to check out some of my good times with the New York Giants, some good New York Giants stories, check out my series from back when I first got started on this YouTube. Check it out. Put it in the chat for y'all. Called them Beer in the Story. It was my Beer in the Story series, Super Bowl series, where I just, told a few stories about my Super Bowl Sundays, watching getting ready for watching the New York Giants, and enjoying some delicious beers. So I want y'all to check them out.
Well, what's on tap this weekend?
And we will. I don't know. I'm not quite sure yet. You know what I mean? I've evolved. So I've come so far in my beer game.
What about your spread? I think you're frozen.
Monday morning, so I can't get too crazy.
Well,
I got to go to work Monday morning, so I can't get too crazy.
You're not calling out like everybody else in America. No, what I'm wondering is what your spread's going to be. What delicious treats will you be having on Super Bowl Sunday? A party of sorts?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm going to my boy crib and we'll see what's there. I'm sure it's going to be some good grub up in there. Definitely be some drinks.
No, Mac is going to bring the Mad Elves to the party. Okay, he's going to be sharing with the folks.
No, I can't do Mad Elves and go to work the next day. That can't be a thing. So,
Coors Light is.
Got to be smarter than that. Oh no, I ain't got to go quite that. I ain't got to go quite that weak either. But find a happy medium. You know what I mean? Happy. We'll find a happy medium, but no Mad Elves. Can't do the Mad Elves and get up and be at work at 6:00 in the morning. That's just not going to work.
6:00 after six Mad Elves is going to be rough.
6 Mad Elves, you might be dead. So I wouldn't recommend that anyway, no matter whether you got to work the next day or not.
6 Mad Elves, you might be dead. That's what they put in the box, folks. They say it.
Definitely wouldn't recommend that.
Well, listen, I'm going to have wings and a couple pizzas. A friend or two is going to come by, and we're just going to sit there and watch the demise of the NFC East as if they possibly win a championship. Like if the Eagles win, right? And the only part of me is Barkley deserves it. I hate that he's with the Eagles, but if anybody deserves, to hoist the Lombardi, it's that guy, right? And even though he's with the enemies, I'm not rooting for it to happen. I'm just saying there's one thing to say a guy deserves it, and there's another thing to say you're actively rooting for that person. Is two different things, And it's just interesting to see what will happen this week. It's a lot of history being made. The first three-peat, as you know, in Super Bowl history. Pat Summerall so eloquently said, there will be no three-peat. And then 4 or 5 years later, the Cowboys had a chance to do it. They lost to the 49ers, who ended up beating the San Diego Chargers. So don't trust me on those winners, Mac and no Mets. I know all the winners from the Super Bowl 1994 all the way up until I do believe last year. So it's all good. 11% beer for no. Wow, there's 11% alcohol in those things. Just give me 3. I'll be out.
That's what I said. You do not want 6 of those.
Yeah, that's a slow burn. Slow burn, people. That's 2. That's 1.5.
It tastes so delicious.
Yes, but that's a slow burn.
Delicious.
You're having that, and you're milking that beer because there's no way. Like I like Modelo's Especial, right? I could have a couple of those, and I'm nice. I'd have Mad Elf. I'll probably be on the floor by the way I drink it, huh?
I would say so, bro. You gotta tread lightly with the Mad Elves, man. You gotta tread lightly with all the elves. They got a couple elves out there. You gotta be careful. You gotta be easy with them, man. They got the naked elf too, man. You gotta watch him too. He's a rough one. Yeah. But
oh man, that was good. That was good. But Super Bowl Sunday is going to be interesting. When the dust settles, the confetti drops, what the history will be, because we will be here to, talk about it. Even though it's one game, we said to the NFC East, we're here to the bitter end. Okay, and next week is probably going to be the last show until probably draft season. So
yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to have a little bit of time off because just not going to be much to talk about. He might do a little something during the combine. He may do a little something during the combine or something, maybe, just to, get the juices flowing again. The Giants is going to be right in the mix, obviously.
This guy comes at me, no Mets, about, watching reality TV shows, and he's worried about a halftime show? That's the bathroom break, man. Get out of here. Halftime show. The draft night special, that might be interesting. That could be an interesting thing that we do.
Possibly. We might get that this year. We'll see.
We want to do some things that are a little different. I think we'll have a production meeting at the end of the year and see what we might want to incorporate a little bit more this year. Maybe we'll have a couple specials, free agency, maybe draft preview or something like that. Get a couple guests on. And kind of go around, have a round table panel of what we think the Cowboys are going to do, what the Commanders might do, things like that. So, I don't watch halftime shows. I don't even know. The only thing I know is Kendrick Lamar is on there. And I know that half the people are going to not even want to listen to Kendrick Lamar. I mean, I'm surprised Taylor Swift is not doing it because it would be so cheap for the NFL to do that. Rig the NFL so Kansas City gets in, and then have Travis Kelce's girlfriend go up there and then he proposes to her on stage. I mean, you can have everything right there, have it all.
I heard something about that. You heard about that? Rumor about that? The proposal that Travis Kelce might be supposed to be proposing to Taylor. I heard a little something, man. I heard it last night. Matter of fact, yeah, last night at the restaurant we was at, out eating. The bartender had mentioned it, and I figured, if people were talking about it, it might have some validity to it. I heard there's a possibility he may be popping the question.
Well, let's do it at halftime. That's a halftime show right there. If it proposes, it'll be too cliche.
Said thoughts on the Cowboys head coach. I think he's just I don't have much of a thought about him other than the fact that he'll just be another puppet for Jerry Jones to pull the strings, man. Honestly, I think it's just a guy that Jerry Jones has in there that he'll be able to control and do whatever he wants to do what he wants to do as opposed to necessarily not to doing what's necessarily best for his football team. I think you had way better candidates out there than Brian Schottenheimer. But it's Jerry Jones' team. He does what he wants to do, and that's where they are right now. I mean, they have so much talent on that football team that Brian Schottenheimer may mess around and be coach of the year next year for all we know. But
Hey, you heard it here first.
I mean, they do. I mean, the Cowboys have the talent. It's not like they don't have the talent on the football team. Like they have, and get a healthy Dak back. I mean, a couple things go the right way. It would almost be like just because we're all kind of people. So many people have sat here and questioned the hiring of Brian Schottenheimer that he'll mess around
Bound,
and go out there and win Coach of the Year.
it's bound to
It would
happen
just be
now
just
because
terrible.
everybody's scrutinizing it. That it would happen like
I
that too.
mean,
It would.
so
Watch it now. It's going to manifest itself, and they're going to go like 9-7. He's going to win Coach of the Year. They're going to make the playoffs, and we're going to sit here at friggin' 6-10, saying, "Oh, I hope we get a quarterback next year." Like that's what we're going to do. Oh my God, I hate this team.
said if he proposes, it'll be too cliche. So Disney corny if that happened.
Yes, I bet you that does
Well,
happen. I
look,
bet you
man,
Miles Garrett does do
I mean, they're millionaires. They do what they want to do, man. They don't think they care about it being cliche. Everybody's going to still be like, "Oh my
it.
God, it was so cool!
They're
Did
going
you
to
see
force
how
them to
he
throw
got on one
70.
knee and proposed to her?"
What are you
Like, come on,
talking about?
you know
It's
how
going to be,
people are.
you know, how the internet's going to shut down with that news. Watch him do that. Watch them trade Miles Garrett for Bryce Huff, right? So they get Bryce Huff back. You know, and the Browns draft Andre Abdul Carter, and they have Huff Carter, and they start their defense like that. Meanwhile, he goes to the Pigeons and terrorizes whatever quarterback we have back there, whether it's Jameis Winston, whether it's UMac, whether it's fucking Tommy Cutlets, who knows? Hopefully it'll be Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, but that is such an Eagle-like move. Don't even put that in uniform. Get that off the screen. Get that off the screen because that's what's going to happen is that's going to now be in the verse, and it's going to be there, and somehow Howie Roseman's going to pull the wool over our eyes, and come draft night, you're going to hear the Eagles have made a trade for the Eagles have decided to throw their second-round pick and their third-round pick and, whatever pick. Let's say they're pick 32. Are you kidding me? They would give Browns pick 32 for Myles Garrett, right? And then they have pick 33 right back to back. Oh, my God. If that happens, forget about it. Like the Browns – see, people keep thinking the Browns are going to take a quarterback. If they actually get a pick for Myles Garrett, and let's say they get 31 or 32, and they also have 33 – I think they have 33. I think they go 33, the Giants are 34, and I do believe Titans are 35. I think they switch every round. Imagine that. Now you get Abdul Carter. You could probably get your quarterback at 31 or 32, right? And then you can take whatever player you want at 33. You have back-to-back things leading off the draft. I mean, that would be absolutely brilliant for them. But I'm not the Browns. I would. That's what I would do if I was the Browns. I'd take Abdul Carter because obviously you need Myles Garrett as a talent. I then draft Will Howard or Jackson Dart at 31 or 32 because I traded with the Eagles, and then I get my playmaker, my running back, my whatever else I need on the schedule. Maybe I get another cornerback to pair with Newsom out there. So a lot of things they can do.
Well, go back to that. Right now, just the way the Eagles do business, Howie Roseman is probably putting together some kind of package right now to send over to the Cleveland Browns. It just wouldn't shock me. This is what the Eagles do. This is why they stay good because they don't sit around and wait for things to happen. They make things happen, and it wouldn't shock me. I wouldn't be surprised one bit when the smoke clears if he ends up on the Philadelphia Eagles and via some kind of a trade. It just wouldn't shock me. It just really wouldn't. Even if that trade involved a wide receiver named A.J. Brown, who knows? It
Exactly.
wouldn't
There
shock
you
me.
go. There you go. Would you be shocked if that happened? I would not be.
So I don't just I please just hope that doesn't happen. We don't need to see that happen. What is
James, this is
going on, James?
a football podcast, Dan. What's happening here? Okay, well, we're talking about the Super Bowl, so
Oh wow. Yeah. All right, James, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you, bro. Like and subscribe, please.
yeah, really. Yeah. We don't really care where you stand politically, but hey, you can always listen about football. So.
Yeah, you want to hear some football talk? This is definitely a spot to be at, man. No doubt, indeed.
Well, politics, they have NPR for
But
that.
yeah, that just threw me. That just threw me off a little bit. But got me all out of sorts.
Reining it in right now. We're
What was I
reining it
even
in.
talking? I forgot what we were talking about. What were we even talking about? I just completely lost my train of thought
Talking about
of everything.
damn Howie Roseman making a trade for Myles Garrett throwing an AJ Brown.
Oh yeah,
Thanks, James.
yeah. Let's just
Thanks
hope
for
that doesn't
nothing.
happen. Wow. All right, we're gonna move away from politics completely because we just don't do that here. It's just not something we do. But
Private conversation.
New York Giants. I'm gonna get back to the Giants real quick on a good note. On a happy note, New York Giants honored Darius Slayton getting honored to wins 2025 NFL Player Association Allen Page Community Award. Darius Slayton, who is the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the New York Giants, done great things in the community. Hats off to Darius Slayton, man. I mean, another
Yes.
just positive note for the New York Giants and what's
And
been
now
an absolute
he'll be a Kansas City,
terrible,
he'll be a Kansas City Chief in March.
abysmal season. And yeah, Darius Slayton, who knows, may have played his last game for the Giants for all we know.
I
You
mean,
never know what's going to happen with the New
it's just
York
like the
Giants,
Giants,
man.
right? They get rid of a receiver and they'll bring in another bum that does the same thing as Darius Slayton. We're going to overpay for them. We're like, why do we just keep Darius Slayton as he goes off to a team with an actual quarterback? You know, what if he goes to Buffalo? That'd be fun.
Thank you, Chad, for stopping in, man. He says, "What's up, Adam and Mac? I want the Chiefs Kingdom to win the Super Bowl again since I can't stand Philly." Yeah, we can't stand Philly either, brother. And like I said, I'll be rooting for my guy Barkley a little bit because that's my guy. But I still want his team to lose. I want him to have a good. I want him to have a good night, but I still want his team to lose. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but that's where I'm at with it. Wouldn't mind seeing him have a nice little day, enjoying himself out there. But when it all said and done, he can go to the jewelry store and buy his own damn ring. Yes, he makes more than enough money to do so. So he don't need a Super Bowl ring with the Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, Giant fans, how about we keep Slayton? We need depth. You are right about that. And I mean, I don't have as big a problem with Darius Slayton as some, but at the end of the day, he's not a piece that I'm going to sit here and necessarily fight for either. I mean, if they feel though they can move on from him and make some moves, trade him up, get something for him, whatever, then so be it. You know what I mean? I just say so be it. As far as I'm concerned, we haven't won anything with them, so I don't see what the difference is going to be.
Listen, his best buddy's not here
Without him.
anymore. He can go, him and Daniel Jones can go be to Cancun and talk about their vacation plans and what else they're going to do. Like I don't care if he's here. I don't care if he's not here. But the Giants dogged him this year with a contract in trying to give him a incentive-related contract or whatever it was, and knowing that he wouldn't reach those incentives. Okay, why, if I'm Darius Slayton, would I want to come back and be loyal to an employer that is screwing me over, that didn't give me the thing, right? But listen, he wanted more. He's going to ask for more money, no Mets. He already asked for more money, and they didn't even really quote unquote give it to him. They kind of rewrote terms of his contract and say, here, you hit these incentives, you're going to get it, knowing that he had Daniel Jones as his quarterback and all that crap. So why would he then say, you know what? This team's not going anywhere. Why am I going to stay here with this team that's already done me dirty, my best friend dirty, and my best running back dirty, right? I mean, think about those guys, the trio of those guys. They all came in together. So, and he's going to want more money. And damn it, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up with the Commanders because I could see him going with Scary Terry and being a legit option in that team to help spread them out. I'm not saying that that'll be the only option they'll get, but imagine if Darius Slayton came to them on that team. And they had Scary Terry, Darius Slayton, and then they added a slot receiver of some sort, and then the tight ends came to fruition. There's a lot of teams out there that could use a Darius Slayton. Even the Giants could use a Darius Slayton, but look what they did with their contract. History shows you the Giants don't pay guys walking out the door. They just don't. Unless your name is Andrew Thomas or Dexter Lawrence. Julian Love has been up and left. McKinney, we got rid of Brandon Bredesen, who's been a solid guard for, I think, the Buccaneers or whoever he's playing with. Now we got rid of him. We could use him for depth right now. Shane, all those things. We got rid of Barkley. That was a big one. We get rid of a lot of other players. Golowinski got rid of. He went to another team and it was okay with them, right? So we get rid of players. We don't sign people out the door. Our GM, the idiot that he is, believes in drafting your players. That's why I think he's going to draft a quarterback, because I do believe his leash is longer than Brian Daboll's, especially with the draft class that he had. If he starts hitting on more players, he's going to get a longer leash to work with. With Malik Neighbors being at the Pro Bowl, you don't think that's not a feather in Joe Shane's cap? That is. Okay, Tyrone Tracy two guys getting 1,000 yards with Tracy and Malik Neighbors. Tracy ending up on all third team or all rookie team, third team. Andrew Phillips doing well, right? Even that kid, Darius Marisau, even played some games. Theo Johnson had some flash.
Tyler Nubin.
No, I forgot about him.
Tyler Nubin, if he didn't get injured, he would have led all rookies in tackles. He still, I believe, finished second in that category, and he missed the last month or so of the season.
Right. So and now you're going to expect bigger things from those guys, which is warranted, right? So now if you're expecting the bigger things to come in, now he has a draft class where, sure, he can hit a home run, but if he gets a Shedeur Sanders and brings in some O-linemen and has a couple guys, who says the Giants can't be a competitive football team? Who says they can't be a competitive football team? I mentioned Drew Phillips already. Like, who doesn't think about that? The Giants are bad because of many things, but Brian Dable has something to improve. Kafka has something to improve. You're getting a couple of quarterbacks in here that can do something. You build some O-line depth. Next thing you know, maybe you draft Shedeur Sanders at 3. See, the thing is this: if the Giants had a quarterback right now, I'd be fucking saying, let's get Travis Hunter, let's get Will Johnson, let's get a stud in here to play. But no, we sacrificed that luxury pick last year for not picking a quarterback last year. So now we don't have the choice to have a luxury pick this year. We don't. We don't have that choice. We buried that choice when we drafted Malik Neighbors. Had we not, and let's say we drafted J.J. McCarthy and we got a receiver in the second round like a Lad McConkey or something like that, or a Ricky Parasol, you could trade them for him, right? Let's just say we got one of those guys, right? And now this year, here we are. We have J.J. McCarthy lined up. He played some games, or Michael Penix, or even a Bo Nix. Here we are sitting here saying, wow, we got a decent quarterback who threw for 3,700 yards. Let's go out there and get the best player available in the draft. Let's get him another receiver. Let's get him this. Let's get him that. No, instead, we're sitting here not having the quarterback that we need and needing to figure out this. And that's why I think if one of those quarterbacks lands to the Giants, and I'm not biased on either one, they've got to take them. And it's because if you think about the parallels, like I just said right now, if they have J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, any one of the 6 that went, or even a Spencer Rattler, and he approves, or Joe Milton, you're like, okay, I can believe it. Somebody there. I'm more flexible to take whomever I want this draft. However, because they didn't do that last year, they went for luxury instead of the actual need. Now they're going to need to go for the need instead of the luxury.
Absolutely. And they need a quarterback. Greg Cook, thanks for stopping in, man. It's always ownership that's responsible for the quality of your football team. Blame Mara.
I don't
Yeah,
know who
Mara
Morale
is
is.
definitely not blameless in this. Yeah, Mara is definitely not blameless in this. But at the end of the day, you also hire guys to do their job, and they need to do their job as well. That's what he hires them for, and that's point blank and period. And they got to do their job. Mara is the owner, and things obviously get run by the owner, but he's still ultimately not making those picks. He's not, you know, really putting together this roster, so to speak. He's got guys that he hires to do so, and they need to take care of that themselves as well. I mean, he does need to be a better owner. I agree with that,
I
but
mean, I don't
at the
like
end of the day, they all share blame.
I don't necessarily like John Mara, but to say that he doesn't allow you to do things, the Giants have spent tons and tons of money. Okay, on a quarterback that sucks. They just spent $100 million on Brian Burns, right? They gave Dexter Lawrence. It's not like it's not the things. His philosophy and being loyal is John Mara's problems. Being cheap is not one of them. Okay, that is not the problem. The problem is being blindly loyal and having blind faith in guys and being too worried about your reputation with the fans on what it looks like to fire a quarterback the last 3 years of your tenure.
Yeah, absolutely. He says, no Mets here. He says, what do you guys think of the media not being as high on Shador? What are they seeing if the Giants draft Shador? What are y'all concerns?
Well, I don't have any concern in terms of Shador. I think if you want to talk about him as a prospect, he doesn't run necessarily the type of offense that Brian Dable runs with a running quarterback. I'm not saying he's not flawless. He does hold the ball a little too long. He does sometimes, you know, get himself in trouble that way, but he checks all the boxes as a leader. He's, a leader of men. He's brought programs back from the dirt. I mean, Jackson State was nothing without him. He goes to Colorado. They win 4 then 9 games. Okay. He's a pretty good prospect. He already has NFL bloodlines and understands. He has a dad that understands what it means to be in a big spotlight, which he'll be in New York. And the answer that made me realize that I would like him on our team is they asked him what Shador Sanders brings to an organization. He says wins. That's what he said. His words, not mine. Get me on board. I want wins. I want a guy that's already got swagger, already got some confidence. Might bring a little bit of swagoo to the Giants quarterback room. Is what we need is a little swagoo. Okay. And we need to be a little bit, we've had a stiffs at quarterback. No pun. No, Eli, you're a stiff. You're a funny stiff. Let's be honest. But, then we got the stiffest of the stiffs, the CPA in Daniel Jones. I would like to see something different. Get a guy who likes to wear chains. Get a guy who has a little swagger, a little fire, a little drip, as the kids say, So as for Cam Ward, I like Cam Ward better as a prospect. That's me. I think he has a higher upside than Shador Sanders. I think Shador Sanders will be a solid franchise quarterback. But I just think there's a lot more that Cam has to offer in terms of sheer talent that you can grow if he goes to the right system.
I agree with that. I do agree with you with your assessment there. Feel like Cam Ward has a higher ceiling, but I still stand by what I said about. I feel like Shador would have more of an immediate impact. I think he'll
Yes.
be ready to come in be more ready in the early stages. And I think what I like about Shador Sanders, like I said, he has it up top. His brain, he has the smarts, he has the instincts. You know what I mean? And on a team like this New York Giant team, he's going to be probably behind a not so great offensive line. Let's face it. I mean, and I think what this kid has with his intelligence, his football IQ, is going to help him in some of those moments and help him navigate some of those obstacles that he would deal with if he was here. So
Well,
I don't have a lot of big concerns with Shador either. Look, don't stop. We got to stop trying to talk ourselves out of it, man. We got to. We got to stop trying to make and try to find all these reasons and all these things now. If Shador is good enough for the Raiders, he's good enough for us. God damn it. Stop talking like
sure.
everybody needs to stop and stop the cat, man. Like stop the cat. Point blank
Right.
and period.
You're absolutely right. And you said something about Shador that I should have mentioned as well. He's played a lot of football, right? So that's one thing that checks the box for me is that he's seen a lot of stuff, right? He's played over 4 years of college football, a lot of games. He's grown with a lot of games. Same thing with Cam Ward. I'd be a little bit more reluctant with these guys if it was like an Anthony Richardson because he didn't play that much football, right? But these other guys, these two, and even a guy like Jackson Dart and even a Will Howard and, a couple of these other guys, a lot of these quarterbacks that aren't being ballyhooed have played a lot of football. Look what happened with Bo Nix, right? What I don't want to happen for the Giants is that we're sitting here in 3 years, 4 years, and we're going, why didn't we pick Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders when we had the chance? That's what I don't want to see. I don't want to be – if he fails with the Giants, so be it. He failed. We took the chance, and it failed. But I don't want to be that guy that's on the opposite end that didn't – like we are right now watching Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., and possibly J.J. McCarthy all have good careers or good starts to their career. And we're sitting here with our thumb up our ass hoping that we kick the can down the road so we get a guy. I don't want to be sitting here a year from now saying, damn it, we should have taken Shedeur.
Absolutely. Definitely don't want to be in that spot, man. Like I said, you got one job come April when it's draft time. You got a couple of months here now. You figure it out and you find your guy and you fall in love with the guy you want and you make sure you figure out a way to get him. You know what I mean? And that's just what you got to do at this point in time. It's nothing more to think about. Quarterback has to be the agenda. It has to be the mission. So with that being said, man, everybody make sure y'all go out there and enjoy the game on Sunday. Be safe, be smart, make good decisions, man. And don't overdo it Super Bowl Sunday. I know how everybody gets down, how you get down and what you do, but just don't overdo it. Be safe and just make good decisions, man. Make good choices, man. Enjoy the game. It should be an absolute epic matchup in Super Bowl 59. This should be a dandy. I believe these are the absolute two best teams in the NFL facing off, and we should see a game that represents what the two best teams bring to the table, man. So with that being said, I am Mac the Giants fan. Make sure y'all go out there, subscribe, hit that like, hit the like button for the stream. Go to Adam's channel, do the same thing. Hit the subscribe, hit the like button for the stream, man. Go to the Hardcore Sports Network and also do the same thing on the Hardcore Sports Network, man. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the Hardcore Sports Network, man. Philly B dropping links in the chat right now. We appreciate y'all coming out, man. And make sure y'all enjoy the game. And me and Adam will be back next Sunday to wrap things up, talk about the Super Bowl, and talk about the rest of these teams in the NFC East, man. So make sure y'all go out there and enjoy the game on Sunday, man. It's your boy Mac the Giants fan with my guy, the super dope co-host Adam Costas, man. Peace! I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you was feeling this, please take time to subscribe and smack them likes. Feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Mac the Giants fan. That's MACDA Giants fan.